Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post, publisher of more than 1,000 comic books and marketing expert covering woke vice media disaster. Massive layoffs announced today. Let's get into the story. Before we do, please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Give me a thumbs up. I really appreciate you guys. They say go woke, go broke, and this is what they're talking about. Vice Media. From the Wall Street Journal, Vice Media to stop publishing on Vice.com plans to cut hundreds of jobs. Cuts follow failed effort by owner Fortress to sell embattled digital publisher and its brands. From the Hollywood Reporter, Vice News top editor tells staff he doesn't know if flagship website will shutter. After multiple staffers voiced concerns, CEO Bruce Dixon told staff the company is transitioning to a studio model. We will no longer publish content on Vice.com. A studio model means they will produce content and they will resell it to other people. Unfortunately for them, though, they don't have a lot of customers for that, so they have to lay off pretty much all their content creators. And also from the Wall Street Journal, how Jezebel took on women's magazines and changed them. The feminist blog, which was founded in 2007 and shut down in November, took aim at the beauty, fashion, and entertainment industries, setting the tone for many outlets today. From the HollywoodReporter.com, Vice News top editor tells staff he doesn't know if flagship website will shutter. Hours after multiple staffers expressed concern that Vice Media was considering shuttering or gutting its flagship news website following the brand's sale to a consortium of its former bankruptcy lenders. The CEO of the company weighed in with a memo detailing sweeping changes. Vice Media Chief Bruce Dixon confirmed that several hundred staffers would be laid off and we will no longer publish content on Vice.com as the company transitions to a studio model to sell its content to other outlets. Earlier in the day, editors from different parts of Vice met with their staffs and informed them that they have asked management for clarity on the situation, but haven't received a reply. Vice News' top editor, Josh Visser, addressed staffers on a midday Zoom and said he'd given senior executives of the company, including CEO Dixon, an opportunity to deny rumors the site was shuttering, but he had not heard back, which he described as very upsetting. Quote, "Our website and our work being pulled down would be completely reprehensible," he told staffers. "I cannot even understand any business reasons why you would do something like that." Visser told staff a plan he had proposed to restructure the newsroom had essentially been rejected by management, and that, even though it is almost March, he still doesn't have a budget for the year. Staff asked Visser about whether their next paycheck would clear and if their Vice laptops may become disabled by the company. Quote, "I don't know more than you guys besides being able to read faces and notice who is not replying to my messages," Visser said. The scramble among staffers appears to have been sparked by a tech update by the company. Quote, "As part of a company-wide security and data compliance update, Vice last week disabled a tool called Google Takeout, which previously allowed employees to download their Google data in bulk. Vice Media filed for bankruptcy in May of 2023, canceled its flagship show Vice News Tonight weeks before, and pledged cost cuts and layoffs during restructuring. Last July, Vice inked a deal to sell itself to a group led by Fortress Investment LLC, Soros Fund Management, and Monroe Capital, ending a lengthy sales process. Quote, "It looks pretty apocalyptic out there," Visser told staff. A spokesperson for Vice and Fortress did not respond to multiple requests for comment from the Hollywood Reporter. Here's Bruce Dixon's full memo to staff. "Dear Vice team, as we navigate the ever-evolving business landscape, we need to adapt and best align our strategies to be more competitive in the long term. After careful consideration and discussion with the board, we've decided to make some fundamental changes to our strategic vision at Vice. We create and produce out..." Can you imagine you're standing there reading this and thinking to yourself, when is he going to get to the point where this actually affects me? I'm not trying to get impressed here. I'm trying to see what's going on with my job. Back to the memo. "We create and produce outstanding original content true to the Vice brand. However, it is no longer cost-effective for us to distribute our digital content the way we have done previously. Moving forward, we will look to partner with established media companies to distribute our digital content, including news, on their global platforms as we fully transition to a studio model. As part of this shift, we will no longer publish content on Vice.com, instead putting more emphasis on our social channels as we accelerate our discussions with partners to take our content to where it will be viewed most broadly. Separately, Refinery 29 will continue to operate as a standalone diversified digital publishing business, creating engaging social-first content. As you know, we're in advanced discussions to sell this business, and we're continuing with that process. We expect to announce more on that in the coming weeks. With this strategic shift comes the need to realign our resources and streamline our overall operations at Vice. Regrettably, this means that we will be reducing our workforce, eliminating several hundred positions. This decision was not made lightly, and I understand the significant impact it will have on those affected. Employees who will be affected will be notified about next steps early next week, consistent with local laws and practices. I know that saying goodbye to our valued colleagues is difficult and feels overwhelming, but this is the best path forward for Vice as we position the company for long-term creative and financial success. Our financial partners are supportive and have agreed to invest in this operating model going forward. We will emerge stronger and more resilient as we embark on this new phase of our journey. Thank you for your continued dedication to Vice and support during this time of transition. Together, I'm confident that we will overcome any challenges and achieve our shared goals. Love, Bruce. The problem, though, if you're getting this memo from Bruce, is you have no idea what your job is or what your next job might be. Hopefully, for anyone who is working at Vice, they realized people don't really enjoy this content that much. Probably you should be doing something else that makes money, and have gone on and since done that. Many people have done that when they used to work for Jezebel by now, I'm sure. From the Wall Street Journal, this is how Jezebel got shut down. How Jezebel took on women's magazines and changed them. As a teenager growing up in Omaha, Nebraska, Caitlin Cruz subscribed to several women's magazines, but it was the feminist website, Jezebel, free to read and updated daily, that left the biggest impact on her. Cruz was drawn to the blog's analysis of current events and pop culture. She said it was the first news site where she read about abortion. Jezebel took women's issues seriously, she said. Jezebel inspired Cruz to become a reporter focused on reproductive rights. She eventually got a job there and remained on staff for 2 years until November 9th, when parent company GO Media announced it was closing the site after 16 years. Jim Spanfeller, chief executive of GO Media, sent a staff memo announcing Jezebel's shutdown and the layoffs of its 23 GO Media employees, including Jezebel's editorial team. Quote, the U.S. economy is expanding, but the usual increase in marketing dollars that goes along with these types of numbers have not materialized, Spanfeller wrote in the memo. Quote, while GO Media is a lean, nimble organization, we are not immune to the economic headwinds rattling our business. Most recently, high interest rates and global crises have made advertisers more cautious about spending, though the chill certainly predated both. Unfortunately, our business model and the audiences we serve across our network did not align with Jezebel's, he said in the memo, where he also noted that GO Media has shopped Jezebel around to more than 24 potential buyers, but none were interested. With its tagline, Sex, Celebrity, Politics with Teeth, Jezebel, founded in 2007, became a digital destination for news, personal essays, and critical commentary on women's issues. Its sharp point of view shifted the tone of many mainstream media outlets, leading to more critical coverage of gender politics and the industries that cater to women. The digital media business has faced challenges as online advertising has decelerated and traffic from social media platforms has declined. Sites like Refinery29, Vice News, and BuzzFeed News built large audiences but ultimately struggled under high costs and weak prospects of profitability. Jezebel's former editor-in-chief Laura Bassett, who resigned in August, said digital media companies at large have had to struggle to balance demands for ad dollars and site traffic with sensible coverage. Bassett said she resigned in part due to GO Media's management decisions, such as instituting a hiring freeze and barring her from giving staff raises or promotions. Quote, for the next year and a half or so, I watched my staff members sort of circle the drain, and I was unable to replace them, Bassett said. Quote, you want to do the vital, important work, and you also want your site to be financially viable, Bassett said. I learned a lot during that time about the sacrifices you have to make to keep people having a salary and having a job. I ultimately disagreed with management about how to do that. A spokesperson for GO Media said Jezebel had long been losing money since before 2019, and that there was not enough advertising support to keep the site afloat. Anna Holmes founded the site as part of the Gawker Media collection of sites run by Nick Denton. Her vision was different from most fashion and beauty magazines. Women, she said, were hungry to read about a much wider and more complicated range of subjects like gender bias and racial politics. Quote, I don't think it could have existed without a lot of female frustration and even anger about the state of the world, and at that time about the state of women's media, she said. Jezebel was snarky in tone, explicit in its beliefs, and occasionally controversial. In an early post, the staff offered a $10,000 bounty for the best untouched photo from a magazine cover shoot. The winner shared an undoctored image of Faith Hill from Redbook magazine, Readers applauded Jezebel for highlighting the unrealistic beauty standards propped up by women's media. Katie J.M. Baker, a former Jezebel staff writer who is now a national correspondent at the New York Times, said the site was early to focus on serious subjects that affected women's lives, such as sexual assault. Jezebel was covering these issues before #MeToo, she said. The site was known for its highly engaged readership and active commenters. Quote, "I was never brave enough to join the comment section," said Cruz, though she said it felt like a very communal experience. After Gawker Media filed for bankruptcy in 2016, Univision Communications bought several of its portfolio websites, including Jezebel, and operated it as Gizmodo Media Group. The group was bought by private equity firm Great Hill Partners in 2019, which took the websites along with humor site The Onion and formed Geo Media. BDG, owner of the women's site Bustle, acquired the assets of Gawker in 2018 and briefly revived the site before it shuttered again in February. Jezebel saw a sharp rise in readership after Roe v. Wade was overturned in June of 2023. Its writers had been covering abortion with a clear pro-rights perspective. Quote, "The increase in our readership showed that there was a massive public appetite for that kind of reporting and that kind of writing," Bassett said. Readers also came to the site for lighter fare. Senior writer Rick Joswiak, who worked at Jezebel for 7 years, said he appreciated his team's unwillingness to bow down to idols when it came to entertainment coverage. "Well, we certainly cared about pop culture, but we weren't just going to kiss any celebrity's ass," says Joswiak. He recalled the time he interviewed the actress Anne Hathaway, who told him that she had to stop reading Jezebel because of negative headlines about her on the site. Jezebel was a training ground for many young writers, Holmes said, and when they left, the site's tone and point of view went with them. News site The Messenger was also shut down in less than a year of operation after blowing through $50 million. From the Wall Street Journal, The Messenger is closing less than a year after its launch. News startup launched in May 2023 with $50 million in funding and 175 reporters. And one day it just completely went down. All of these media sites, apparently they're in the business of influence. They're not really in the business of making money. And as soon as times get tough, these guys get shut down. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Always love to see your ideas. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.